Hi folks, welcome to Nessie Ting. Today I'm going to share a little bit about myself, and maybe it'll give you some inspiration. Uh, you see, and the reason why I say this is because we all need some inspiration. Okay, and 2020 is coming along, and maybe you can, maybe this will give you the incentive to start photography or film photography or astronomy or maybe even start your own YouTube channel. I don't know, But I want you to know that I'm there with you, okay? I'm there with you. Not to give up so quickly. I was inspired when I wasn't inspired by many people or many things, but the ones that I have been inspired by stays right here. It never leaves. For example, Mr. Ollinger, that's my high school teacher. You're talking about years ago. He's passed away now. From Collingswood, New Jersey, Faith Christian High School. And he was a great man, really great. And I wanted to learn maths, and he taught me. And he inspired me. He pushed me to, solve, my love for mathematics. But from where I was, in the streets of Camden, in New Jersey, you know what I mean? Music was my inspiration. Very early days. I was into tap, jazz, breakdance. Love music and love dance. And as I got older, I read a book, Chaos Theory, and a few films out there inspired me. And I got into wanting to know what is out there in space. Man, that's deep. So what I did was I got myself a telescope, but I couldn't afford the best, So bit by bit, I built it, you know. And when my camera came along, my first camera was a Nikon FM, film camera. Okay, you guys are lucky you get to use digital, instant pictures. Well, I had to develop everything. But this little magazine right here, I don't know if you guys seen this magazine before, Amateur Photographer. Yeah. It kind of sums me up pretty much nicely in here. This magazine right here. All right. That right there. Let me see if I can get that. Yeah. Whether he's photographing wildlife or heavenly objects, Nestor is passionate about his subject. Now, yeah, that kind of, you say now, yeah? That kind of sums me up right there, you know? Um, my quest to learn something or to do something, when I really am passionate about something, I don't just take people's advice, okay? I go out there and I learn it. I study it for myself. I find it. When I found Jupiter, I was blown away. You know me? When I finally got a decent photograph of the moon, I had to. Remember, I told you about the telescope, right? Well, I bought the telescope from Orion Optics, so British made, from the UK. And then after that, I realized that I couldn't really afford the GP, the Great Polaris mount, and because I didn't have that 3,000 pounds to spare. So what I did was I hired people to build parts. You can see this right here, yeah. And design something so I can have my right ascension and declination, okay. And then here's me inspiring a little girl. That's my daughter right there, Alexia, that little one right there. That's Kirsty, and I have another one, Vicky. But that little girl right there, I inspired her from a very early age. And now she's at UCLan doing her doctorate's degree. Okay, she's just finished her master's degree. So you see how this, when you pass this on, how you inspire one person, and that person, you don't know where that person's going to take it. There's a lot of negative Nancy's out there, and I'll tell you why, because a lot of people said to me, what are you using a film camera? That's what I could afford at the time. But what are you using a film camera? and it wasn't easy. But there it is right there. Like a little film camera like this, attached to a T-ring, and the telescope, and I'm able to photograph this. And they said, well, why you want to do something like that? You see, you had to develop it too as well. So it was more than just taking a picture, and that was it. You can see that, right? You can see the detail in that, and that's real. And then and then you print it out, and again, it's this is and I got people who are telling me that some of my equipment, oh, why are you still selling film cameras or D100s? This one guy, why do you sell D70 when you can achieve the same goal with a mobile phone? And I'm like, well, fair enough. If you're using the mobile phone to, to look at and take a picture of yourself, that's fine. But if you're photographing the moon, you're going to be sitting there like this and zooming in and trying to zoom in. And I'm gonna tell you this right now, mate. You're not gonna get that kind of detail. You're not gonna. That's a film camera, okay, folks. It's a film camera, and a D70, 6.1 megapixels, D50, D100. They can all achieve it, but you need the proper thing. You need a telescopic lens. I've achieved the same thing, very similar, using a D100 and a 500 millimeter telescopic f4 Nikon lens. You can't do that with a mobile phone, no matter how hard you try. But somebody will give me a hard time for selling old digital equipment or old film camera equipment. Another person attacked me. Well, why do you use a 24 millimeter PCE lens? You don't need a PCE lens. You can achieve the same goal with a ladder. And I'm like, yeah, but for my cabinet. I was photographing my cabinet, and I kind of showed you how the tilt and the shift works. And he was telling me how I can achieve the same goal with a ladder. But how many people go out there photographing buildings that are 30 meters high, 100 foot? That's 100 foot, just in case you're American, you don't know what meters are. You know what I mean? Were you going to carry around a 50-foot ladder? People all think you're a window cleaner. You'll be like, what is that? I'm a photographer. I'm going to take a perfect picture of this building. Get my ladder out there and climb. Wobbling around 50 feet. Man, dude, I don't want to see that because I get sick when I see people fall. And they do that a lot on YouTube. Everybody likes to fall and break their, jump off skateboarding. I don't know. Oh, God, it makes... You ever see that? People fall and hurt and you can feel the pain? Oh, God, it's awful. Anyway, and then he wants to go on and attack me about, well, all lenses bend light. Yes, we understand that a lens has a focal point, and it brings the light to the focal point, and I could achieve the same thing with a magnifying glass. Light from outside, have somebody's property outside, and have their house on my wall through a window. The light comes from the window, and I can see their house through the magnifying glass onto the wall, and it's upside down. Okay? And it's, let me tune that down a little bit. And you could achieve that goal too, and I understand that. But how a perspective lens bends light is amazing, okay? And I try to explain things simple so that everybody understands. That's why every one of my listings says layman terms. Simple terms. If you want to study physics, I've studied it. You want to study chemistry, I studied it. You want to study more chemistry, A levels, physics, I've studied it, my friend, okay? This is here, I'm qualified here in the UK, okay? Not just in America, all right? Also, let's see this. This is BTEC. Electrical engineering, electronic engineering. I came top of the class, 95, 96. Distinction. I can say that right here on this video because you know why? It's the truth. And, yeah. So anyway, what I'm saying is, if you want to get technical, that's what college is for. You know, I'm not here to get technical. I'm not here to try, and I know there are people out there. So what I'm trying to get to is, don't let them get to you. Because, trust me, it's crazy. And if you can be inspired by that, if you can be inspired that this guy, he is what he says he is. He has his qualifications. He's a photographer. He's known by everyone. You know, it's like these things. Even I even got to see the Duke of Edinburgh. You know, Philip. I got to see him when I collected the gold certificate for my daughter. If I get this much hard time, then you got to be ready for it. Okay? You got to be ready for it. Don't let it bother you too much. Okay? And remember, there are other people that get the same kind of BS out there. So, keep pushing forward. Right? Keep doing what you love. Because if you love it and you enjoy it and it's worth it for you and you're inspiring one or two people, that's where it really counts. Okay? That's where it really counts. So, I'm going to leave it right there. And you guys, Happy New Year to you. And wish you all the best.